my God, is that the time? It's in the know! Welcome back. This is In the Know, brought to you by the Racing Post as we preview day 3 of Royal Ascot. And the only thing hotter than this iron is the weather and the racing. What a day we've had today, and it was all gearing up for a bit of a Ballydor masterclass with the tactics setting it up for Los Angeles. Unfortunately, the tactics went completely out the window, but we might well have a new superstar in the shape of Ombudsman, who galloped them into submission in very impressive fashion. And it wasn't just those related doubles that got True Love into favouritism this afternoon as well for the Queen Mary. If you had the Gustad True Love double, you were never particularly in doubt, and another O'Brien winner in a 2-year-old race, albeit getting the Queen Mary for the first time. Elsewhere, we might well see a horse going from Hunt Cup to Queen Anne potentially next year, as Mike Clout absolutely dotted up in the style of a very, very good horse indeed. We had a bit of a scrappy Queen's Vase, but Paddy Toomey managed to get his first Royal Ascot winner in pretty impressive fashion. But his better fancied horse in the Duke of Cambridge was very disappointing indeed. And a late gamble on Crimson Advocate shows that Royal Ascot form always comes to the fore, even if it is 2 years later. That one coming back as a 4-year-old again to make it a very, very good day for the Gosdens. Tomorrow, what have we got? Well, we've got the Gold Cup, haven't we? Is Illinois the next Kyprios, or is he just too quirky for his own good? We've got another well-fancied Ballydoyle 2-year-old in the shape of the Norfolk favourite, but it is a race that consistently gets short prices beat. And do we have anything decent in the Ribblesdale? It does look like a slightly below par renewal, but hey, it is the type of race that can throw up something on the day. So look, plenty more. And also, of course, one of my favourite races of the week, the Britannia, who will get sold to Hong Kong for massive pots of cash, straight track handicap. Lots to look forward to tomorrow. We are live and interactive, so please do get in touch on the chat if you are watching the show at home. And like I said, I think a bit of stick last night for not reading out enough comments. It was a bit, but there's a lot to get through. There's a lot to get through this week. So hello to Stevens99, to Alan Keane, to Kevin Hasnip, to Darren Walker, to Paul, to Dave Henderson, to Tom Leach, and many, many more. So do get in with your chat. Put your fancies in capital letters with your reasoning, because like I said, it is quite hard to decipher the chat on the fly and pick out your selections. Who's going to be joining me tonight? Well, 2 people in the studio is a bit of a treat. To the left of me, a man who said last night that Paddy Toomey was about to announce himself on the Royal Ascot stage. Unfortunately, he napped the wrong one. It's Robbie Wilders.
The explosion came, but with the wrong fella, sadly.
It went off
a penny on Karmas.
Went off 35 minutes early, unfortunately. The Toomey.
Yeah, what happened to one look? We were all over her.
I mean,
as you said, there were no excuses, but that almost means there were excuses.
Well, it was she just completely dropped out, didn't she?
Too bad to be true.
I'll be interested to see what comes to light. But again, Royal Ascot form again coming to the fore today. Crimson Advocate obviously was a 2-year-old winner.
Sort of missed one there a little bit. That was heavily punted as well. It's kind of exciting when these massive gambles come in.
Yeah, 25 to 1.
In the same way that the Michael Al gamble very much came off as well.
Yeah, that was almost that was like a slow drip gamble, wasn't it? Because it's been coming since that horse won over course and distance earlier in the season.
Been a talking horse for a while. Had the pedigree. Form's working out well from his previous runs, and like you say, he could be the sort of horse that turns up in a Queen Anne next year.
Absolutely. And Graeme Rodway, a very good evening to you. You were with us last night, which meant that you didn't get to bask in the glory of putting Docklands up and French Master and various other horses as well. What did you make of today's action, in particular, the Prince of Wales?
Yeah, he was brilliant, wasn't he, Ombudsman? I must admit, before that race, I thought he'd probably had a really difficult task trying to give weight to Al McCann previously at Sandown when the pair come miles clear, and he was so good, wasn't he, today? He was clearly the best horse in the race by some way. And what a week it's been for John and Fady Gosden. What a week they are having. They cannot do a thing wrong And Ombudsman was superb, wasn't he? Although that does make you wonder now, doesn't it, whether we will just see Field of Gold stay at a mile. Now they've got Ombudsman to go and mop up all those Chadmont Internationals and Eclipses.
Yeah.
You probably won't see Field of Gold going up in trip. You wouldn't have thought, but roll those big dice, John. Roll those big dice.
Well, the interesting thing is potentially, look, I mean, you could, if Field of Gold goes up, I mean, the way Ombudsman won today, he didn't look like he's going to be scared of a mile and a half. He might go up again. You never know.
Could he be an art course? There, I say.
I mean, he handles
The
soft
options are
ground. He's gone over to France and been absolutely fine with the travel over there and dotted up and beat good horses.
They went a very, very hard pace in that.
They did.
So like the time, I just looked at the times now. It was very, very quick.
I mean, it was 1.89 seconds under standard, which obviously it's the best race on the card. It's very fast ground. You're going to expect it to be very quick. But what you like to see about with a horse of that nature is when you have a race that, I mean, they went so quick that it was putting those horses to the test. And he's beat Anmar, who's the solid yardstick. He's beat See the Fire, who absolutely dotted up last time out. He's beat Los Angeles, who dropped out the back of the telly. And he's beat them silly, hasn't he?
He has, yeah. I think the form's going to work out pretty well. I mean, some people might have questioned how strong it was, but Los Angeles has ultimately been well beaten, and he had top class form going into it. So, yeah, I think it's going to work out.
That's the joy of Royal Ascot, and is again slightly. I mean, Cheltenham still does it as well, but it feels like Cheltenham sort of crowns horses. Royal Ascot feels like it announces them a lot of the time.
Yeah, I mean, Cheltenham always used to be like Ascot, didn't it? We had this discussion a bit on Monday, didn't we? Like it, whereas it's changed slightly in now that Ascot is where we're now finding out who the champions are, aren't we, in the flat season? And then like from now on, it's going to be where Field of Gold comes in the history books, isn't it? For example, using Field of Gold as an example. I mean, going into yesterday's race, we thought he was the best miler in Europe. We weren't sure, though, were we? Now we're absolutely sure, aren't we?
Well, he needed to do it again to show that it wasn't. I'm not saying it's not fluke's not the right word, but you can pull out amazing performances. It's pulling out an amazing performance followed by an amazing performance. That makes you a true superstar. Yeah,
I mean, sorry to keep going on about Field of Gold, a day in advance, but I do think that it was the most exciting performance of the whole week by far. I was so excited to see the way that he won. For me, it was the best performance at Ascot since Frankel.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, don't say that lightly.
I don't.
Until I'm gonna have to watch that Ombudsman race back again because, I mean, that to me it did blow me away a bit. I mean, I was worried about the one box. I thought he was a bit of a galloper. I was worried about the track. I was worried about the really fast ground. I was thinking you're really gonna have to step up, and he has stepped up something rotten, hasn't he? So, but that's good because that's what you want. So far, we've had the two feature races. We've had two proper top class winners. No hard luck stories. No, this would have happened. That should have happened. We've had proper top class horses put the race to bed.
And what I want to see now is Almacam and Ombudsman face again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now that's spicy.
Rematch.
Spicy on a bit softer ground.
Well, look, in theory,
playful.
Sandown and the Eclipse the past couple of years has been blighted by small fields, hasn't it? It'd be nice to see a proper Eclipse again.
It would be, yeah.
And even if we don't, the International is shaping up to be pretty special.
See the fire o'clock then, I think. Could be.
So, okay, lots to like. On the chat, what do we got? Anyone else? A few interesting, Ryan Moore, there's been a couple of rides this week. He's normally one of those jockeys that I say he never gets anything wrong. I'd say we're 2 days into Royal Ascot and he's already got a couple of things wrong, which is very un-Ryan Moore-like.
Probably mainly yesterday, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I thought...
anything else today? Or?
But we were watching the Prince of
Los
Wales.
Angeles, that
was... They were going way too quick and you could see it a mile off.
Yeah. He might be tough, but he's not that tough, mate.
He's not,
I'm not blaming him for spitting the dummy out there.
No, but it felt like, I understand the tactics, but it felt like, I don't know, it felt the fractions looked wrong to me.
But is that Ryan's fault, or is it the guy that's making the pace for him? I don't know.
Yeah.
Ryan can only follow the pace as he's meant to, and he's followed the pacemaker. If the pacemaker's gone off at a ridiculous pace, then is that Ryan's fault?
It is hard. It's hard to judge pace. Like, I just know from going out for a run. Like, I need the times in my ear to say, 4 minutes 50 first kilometre, and then I'm happy with that.
Well, I remember doing a half marathon and practicing for it, and then thinking, all right, I've got this absolutely nailed. But as soon as everyone else starts running at a pace, you think, well, I've got to go as fast as them, and I had the same thing. It came in, and I was like, I was like, I'm going faster than I've ever gone in the first mile.
You're not going to get home,
I'm never going to get home.
This is $1 million idea. Why don't we have earpieces for jockeys and feed them the sectionals as they're going along? Someone's saying you're going too quick, mate.
Yeah. Like
speed up.
F1 style.
Yeah, why not?
John Gosden on the line. John Gosden, you're going too quick. What
the hell are you
doing? Drop back.
Yeah, that would be pretty good.
And then us viewers can hear those interactions as well.
Yeah, that'd
be wonderful.
That would be pretty good, although
not possible.
I'm not sure a lot of connections would want you to hear those interactions necessarily.
Probably not, no. Some bad eggs in this game. I'm not going to name names, but...
John Gosden, the Toto Wolf of horse racing.
Well, you never know. There's going to be some personalities come out in that, isn't there? Let's have a look. What else have we got? Paul says, almost great shout with Snellen last night, Ross. Yeah, but that was a long final furlong, wasn't it? Crikey, O'Reilly. Damon said he had trouble with True Love Crimson Advocate and Mike Loud. I mean, it's an after-time, Damon, but it's such a good one. I'll give you a small round of applause. And Liam Fisher says, evening, gents, who would win in a fight, Polar Bear or the three pundits? Well, let's find out.
I reckon us. Seriously, yeah.
But it's possibly two people versus a polar bear. We've already got one.
Say, this fella is bear-like.
He is very bear-like.
Me and you, we've got the speed. Speed kills.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. You take him. You take for the left, I'll take him down from the right.
So if you can organise it, mate, let us know, yeah?
Let's do it. Right, okay. Let's get stuck into Royal Ascot Day 3 then. Let us know what you fancy on the chat after this. Sign yourself up to Racing Post Plus, then put your favourite tipster with a 10 at the end of it, and you'll get a discount. What have we got coming up? Well, we've got the best bets from Keeley and Tom Siegel, of course. Lee Motters has been chatting to Johnny Murtagh and Mick Cannan about whether Gold Cup favourite is the new Kyprios. David Jennings been in the betting ring to report on a day that's probably put a couple of bookies out of business with some strong moves. And there's going to be live track reporting from DJ and Chris Cook as well. So why not sign up right now as we crack on then to the 2:30 first race on day 3, and it's the Norfolk Stakes, 5 furlongs for 2-year-olds here, Group 2, and 5 to 6. Charles Darwin, unsurprisingly, given the fact that Aidan O'Brien has won 2 2-year-old races already this week. He's been well backed, very well backed, into odds on. Naval Light 5 to 1, Afghan 9 to 1, First Legion 12 to 1, Sandal Song is 12 to 1, Wise Approach 14 to 1, Clear Force 18 to 1, Comical Point is 22 to 1, and then bigger prices the rest. Now, Charles Darwin has clearly looked like a very, very good horse. He's experienced, his form's starting to work out. The yard are obviously having winners, and every time Ryan Moore chooses one, you know they've got the right one. However, the Norfolk, Mr. Graeme Rodway, is a notorious favourites graveyard. Average odds in the past 10 years of 28 to 1. We've had loads of horses. Whistlejacket was very similar all the rage last year, finished 4th. We've had horses come into this off RPRs of 101, 103, 100, 103 and 101. All go off favourite, all get beat. So, look, for that reason alone, he's probably worth taking on, but what's in the plus point for him?
Well, the plus point is obviously that Aidan O'Brien has won virtually all the juvenile races this week already. Gustard bolted up in the commentary, and by all accounts, he seems to think that Charles Darwin is better than all of them. He's certainly very bullish about how good Charles Darwin is. He went off at 1 to 14 last time out to get the job done and beat what's called Cardiff by the Sea. And that finished close today.
Finished 4th, yeah. Yeah,
not beaten too far. So you could argue the form is there, and the way that the juveniles are running, if you assume that they're all working together or that a certain
surely they're all working together.
You would have thought so.
It would be weird if they were like, we could run these all against each other at home and find out who's good, but no.
Yeah,
but they've got so many, haven't they? You can't
that's true.
You can't just get like 60 of them racing each other, can you?
Well, again,
they've got the capacity to do that at Ballydor.
I don't know, but you're saying about innovations. Let's just have races where only 1 yard is allowed to enter their 2-year-olds, and you've got to see what
perfect, isn't it?
see what happens. But yeah, you're right. They're going to have to take the turns.
You assume they're all working together at home. Gastardi's good. True Love is good. Charles Darwin, according to Aidan O'Brien, is right up there, if not better than both of them. And those two have already won, and this is a penalty kick. That's the argument, isn't it? And it might work out that way.
And he also says that a fella that's not even running, Albert Einstein, is even better than him.
I know, which is the most PR move I've ever seen in my life.
Trying to make some sires, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but it'll be tipping up yearlings next time. You should see this. You should see
premature anyway. He's premature to be 5 to 6 in a 16 runner Norfolk. Like,
look again. I mean, the things that negative against him. First off, this is his first experience on properly fast ground.
Yep.
And we obviously know. I mean, he's run to an RPR of 105 last.
Yeah, but that's Johnny
time.
Pearson's RPR. He gets a bit carried away. Our Irish handicapper.
Well, look, I mean, that is enough in theory to win this race if he just repeats it. But this is what everyone says. Oh, you know, this horse has to improve this much. This horse has to improve this. It's only if Charles Darwin replicates that, of course. And the other thing I was always slightly worried about, he's made all on his 3 starts. I don't want to see him rattling off in front at Ascot.
No, we saw what happened with Zelena earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's just there's too many unknown quantities for me to ever take 5 to 6. Like, who's actually looking at that and wanting a piece of that? I mean, there's going to be people.
Yeah. Well, people with Ackers probably.
Probably, yeah. Chuck him in.
Royal Ackers.
I don't know, like on a 5 furlong race at Ascot, I think you do want to be blasting up there, Ross. I think one of the reasons why so many favourites have been beaten in this race in the last few years is because it's a 5 furlong race. Blink and you miss it. Something goes wrong at the start. You get in the wrong position, you get too far behind. A 5 furlong race, for me, is one of the most volatile because it only takes the most minute of details and your chance can be gone. The race is going to be done in 50-odd seconds.
I mean, I agree with you, but Zelena, I mean, obviously the True Love wasn't, I mean, she wasn't far away, but she wasn't up there. Havana Hurricane wasn't up there.
No.
American Affair came from a long way back as well. I do think that partly, you're right, but these horses have been conditions on really flat, quick tracks, and they come out and they go, it's this again, bah! And they go mad. And we saw today, that final furlong, it can either take an age if you've backed Snellen, or it can, like My Cloud was 6th. I know it's a very different race, but what I'm saying is that final furlong on this stiff finish is a long way.
It's a different discipline. I'll take it back to running again. Like, if you run them flat on the treadmill, totally different to if you've got to climb like Hog Hill, for instance.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to know what that is. That's from the local, very notoriously hilly road in Maidstone, Hog Hill.
I mean, it does.
Not for the faint-hearted.
It sounds tough.
It bloody is, mate.
Yeah.
But let's get on to the selection, shall we?
Go on then.
Well, we don't do 5 to 6 shots in this studio, do we?
No.
I don't think so. We're like Afjan, don't we? We've got the great minds together, 2 of the 3 of us, along with Mr. Keith Melrose, who I can confirm will be joining us on this show tomorrow night. Not me, I'm off. We like Afjan. This man to my left was in attendance at Shanty for his debut with producer Sam Hott. And, well, you make the case and I'll come in and join you at the end.
It was one of those moments where you're like, whoa, what is that?
Yeah.
I remember having a couple of those moments on race courses before. Constitution Hill, when I was there when he won at Sandown, the first time he ever set foot on a race course. It was just like sitting there and you're watching the race and what is that?
Yeah. Because you go hoping you see a nice performance, but sometimes you do go, you look around, is it like, did anyone else, is that as good as it looks?
Yes, and you know, you're then looking for reasons why it wouldn't be as good as it looked. You're looking at the third, who it wasn't a very good, hadn't shown loads of form going in, but there was an Aga Khan hot favourite who was well beaten in second with fresh air back to that third, and Afjan basically cut it down like it was standing still. A really smart turn of foot, and I was wildly impressed by it. And a few other people since, including Keith and Robbie, have since said, well, just watch Afjan on the video. Wow, what is that?
Well, and then the Dan was second in the Queen Mary as well, so there's a bit of history
pedigree,
there.
Mamas precocious, more precocious pedigree than a lot of French horses that often come over here. And just the way he went from flashing past about 6 or 7 horses in like the blink of an eye.
Yeah,
he looked something quite special. So
which is an Ascot way to win rather than the
sure,
from the front.
He's come from the back. He's finished quickly. I like that kind of profile. And you get 9. I'd have more fun playing him at 9 to 1 than Charles Darwin 5 to 6. Admittedly, I won't be the case if Charles Darwin wins, but I'm not after that short a price in a juvenile race.
Fair. Fair play to Jim Stanton, who says that Charles Darwin is the natural selection.
Hey,
Very good.
Beautiful.
Decent.
That is good. I'm going to be having a little bit on First Legion here, who, again, York, they went hell for leather out in front. The experienced horses took each other on, and First Legion had the pace to sort of lie up in the mid pack on debut, and then rattled home, went past 5 or 6 horses again. And I remember again, I was I there that day? I was there. Was I there the day before?
At York or Sandown?
At York.
I was going to say, if you're at Sandown, mate, I was there that day.
I was avoiding you, yeah.
As usual.
No,
that's harsh. That's harsh.
I went to York. No, I went to York the day before because Richard Hanna had another winner. But I was doing a radio shift for that day, so I was watching the race, and again, it was one of those ones where I think, crikey, that is that the debutant, the Hanna debutant? Is that another one? But then you go back to Sandown, and you think, oh, surely if it's 6 furlongs fast ground at York, 5 at Sandown's going to be a bit quick for him. And I think he should have won in a way. He kind of got caught in a pocket with the Millman horse buried down the rail, and by the time the Millman horse had gone, he won over 6 on debut. But I like the extra stamina, the way he finishes his races. If you've got the speed to finish second at Sandown over 5, and you finish strongly to win at 6 at York, I thought he was interesting.
And he's got a bit of experience as well, which I think is important in these juvenile races. And for that reason, I just want to throw one in at an absolutely mad price.
Let's go for it, because you backed a 100 to 1 shot to finish second today. So fair play to you.
In the 2-year-old
This was an amazing tip from Graeme Rodway yesterday. Flowerhead, wasn't it?
Flowerhead in
Charlie
the first.
Clover. Get to know that name.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Four winners from 7 runners, and not including that
that's
one.
the time of day.
Unfortunately, True Love turned out to be as good as she was. Otherwise, it would have been probably the first 100 to 1 winner I've ever backed, Flowerhead. But I fancy one at 50 to 1 here, and that is Star Material.
Okay.
Who's trained by Adrian Keatley and has got a bit of experience. Like I said, he's already had 3 runs. Last time out of Ripon, I thought it wasn't a bad race, and Star Material ran a good time and finished the race off really well. Major Nay Sayer was 3rd, and there was a good horse in 2nd whose name escapes me but was well fancied.
Fortification.
Fortification.
Who then smashed at Hamilton on debut and looked completely clueless.
That's right, a Wafnan horse.
Yeah,
and that was well fancied. And Star Material was right away from it near the line. I really like the way that Star Material shaped, and I'll definitely be having some money on Star Material at 50s.
Yeah, and he was beaten by Argentinian Tango before that, who finished second to Venetian Sun, who's got a big chance in the Albany. So it's all coming together there. All right, fair enough. So, Afghan for you two, and I'll go First Legion then.
Please.
Yeah? All right.
Yeah.
Good, lovely stuff. What else have we got? Any other fancies? Comical Point looked good first run, says Kevin Hasnip. And that's about it. Right. See, this is the thing. I do go to the comments sometimes, but it's quite hard to pick them out because there's all sorts of chitter chatter going on, which is again is great stuff. But it doesn't make good broadcasting, does it? Just me going, what's he saying there?
Bit of love for Hog Hill as well.
Bit of love for Hog Hill. Yeah.
I'm not going to say
good name for a horse,
but it probably is one called that. Isn't it?
Yeah. There you go. Right. Let's move on then to the King George V Stakes, 1.5 handicap here for the 3-year-olds, 11 to 4. Again, another horse has been very popular in this race for a while and is now shortening it up even more, probably because he's got that 20 box. Merchant is 11 to 4 for William Haggis and Tom Marquand, 7 to 2 Serious Contender, Sing Us a Song 5 to 1, Gunship 13 to 2, Light as Air 11s, Lightning Man 12s, Masai Moon 12s, Proposes 16 to 1, and Bigger Prices the rest. Again, this is another one of those races. Look, you don't want to be stuck down the inside on the round track at Ascot anyway, but the later on in the week, it's almost as if everyone is so desperate for winners that they go quicker and quicker and quicker. Last year's race was won by a horse drawn in 18, beat in 19, and horse in 8, Go Daddy, but he'd switched off out the back. And if you stop the tape halfway round, the last 3 horses halfway around the track are the first 3 horses crossing the line. So they're going to go quick. You're going to have horses collapsing back on your lap if you're on the inside, Robbie.
Yes.
And because of that, it's no surprise that the market tends to know that sort of thing, and you've got box 20, box 21 and box 17, the first 3 in the betting here.
Yeah, and I think they're all interesting, but Serious Contender for me, I think if Ryan Moore wasn't riding him, he's like a 10 to 1 chance.
Yeah.
Light as Air is 11 to 1 on that graphic. I think he's bigger in some places, but if you watch back the race they met each other in Leopardstown, that was Serious Contender's last run, Light as Air should have beat him.
Yeah.
Found all sorts of trouble in running. when he come out by the rail, he was flashing home. He's a half brother to Continuous, a St Ledger winner. He's open to improvement over that extra 2 furlongs. And Ryan Moore's never ridden him in the past. Wayne Lord has, so I just thought he was bang overpriced. I wanted to ask you, I was going to do it in the office, so I didn't get around to it. I couldn't find any stats about O'Brien with first-time cheek pieces. Is that positive omen?
I tell you what, if you get Rodders to make a case for what he fancies, I will...
Top man. Rodders, take it away.
Actually, no, there's not. I don't know exact stats, but no, it's bad, because I looked for Johnny, because he can't fancy this
he looked to that as well. Fair play.
It is... Again, I'm not going to get him up because
don't worry about
it. It ain't good.
If you say it's bad, I'll take that on board.
Yeah, it's not a positive. Put it that way. So
these things can change though.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. But if you added it to the case of like,
course.
oh, that's a positive. But for example, this one, for example, like Beckett with blinkers is quite good. I looked at that because of Kirat today. But yeah, I did think, I wonder if this will improve things. And no.
Okay, that's not what I wanted to hear, but.
Thanks, Ross.
No, it's fine. But look, like I said, it's not a...
That doesn't mean he can't win. It's just not.
No.
It's not a way. It's not a reason to make a case for him winning.
It's not another little grain of sand to add to your...
No, exactly. But anyway, if Ryan Moore, he's not had his best week.
No.
That horse should not be 7-2.
No, fair
Simple
enough.
as that.
No,
for me.
But again, I think partly it is the draw again because it's taken a hell of a long time, Rodders, for people to actually sort of for this to be hammered into them. But it appears to have solidified now.
Yeah, you don't want to be on the inside.
Yeah.
I think the best piece of form is Serious Contenders' defeat of Light as Air. Now, who you think's going to win in the rematch, I suppose, comes down to how much trust you have in Ryan Moore picking the right one. Because, like Robbie says, Light as Air flew home and got in a bit of a mess behind Serious Contender. But Serious Contender is ridden by Ryan Moore again here, and Ryan obviously has a lot of faith in him confirming the places with Light as Air. The problem is, of course, he's 3-1 and it's Royal Ascot and it's not my sort of price, so I have got one at a big price that I like.
Okay.
Daiquiri Bay. Now, he is drawn out wide.
He's a good horse, isn't he?
Yeah, I was
or at least
impressed,
he will be.
very impressed with him when he ran at Chester. He won a maiden there and they went really good, solid pace, and he sived through the field and came around the outside and made them look very slow. He didn't run poorly last time either. It was a good solid second. And I think that Daiquiri Bay will run really well for Alan King from stall 20 odd.
22.
Yeah, that's a good draw.
My only concern was overwatered at Chester. I mean, when he won at Chester, my immediate thought was he could be a Trushan-esque sort of mile 6 softish ground. I'm again slightly worried about him on fast conditions, partly just because he hasn't been tested it, and it's a big race to be tested. But I agree, he looked an absolute monster at Chester, and I thought he got out. Doncaster was a bit of a slow. It was a very differently run race. It was a slowly run race, and he got beat by a horse who'd won over a mile before. So he was. I think he was outspeeded. So he looks definitely more of a stayer. But I was worried about you. I was worried about the ground.
Yeah, I'm not a ground punter, as you know. I mean, the horse has only run 3 times,
Fair.
so we have no idea what his ground preferences are just yet. But I take your point. The other one at a massive price that could run well is 33-1. Is forgot what it's called now.
Come on, mate.
I'm so confident that I've forgotten the name.
I've got a 33-1 shot.
Pantire Warrior.
Yes, yeah. But that 9 box. But I agree that Many Men form looks. Many men. It's got tied in with Merchant, Rahib.
Yeah, ties in with Merchant and Gosden, John and Fady Gosden.
Yeah.
We've already said are absolutely fine. Like all of their horses this week, almost all of them run well.
Yeah.
So I just cannot let Pantire Warrior go off at huge odds without backing him, because I think he's got form to be competitive too. Yeah. So 2 at big prices for me: Daiquiri Bay and Pantire Warrior.
All right. Yeah, the problem is I don't want to take on this favourite though. I mean, he was all the rage at Newmarket, and he fell out the boxes. He looked like he had no idea what he was doing, and he still at one point looked like he was going to go and win. He got beat at length. It was all over. God, this horse is going to improve plenty when he runs next time out. William Haggas has had a pretty frustrating start to proceedings, and Bullet Point went close today. Sam Hawkins, he had a really nice horse win on the turf yesterday or the day before. He's got a 20% strike rate now. He was running at sort of 10-12% a few weeks ago. And this horse went to York, and he looked a completely different animal. And he's beat Rahib, who's placed in the Queen's Vase. He's beat many men who got up in the Dying Strides at Doncaster. Again, it's one of those. I just.
Yeah.
I mean, he could easily be winning this and then winning the Great Voltager next time out.
Yep.
And don't listen to what William Haggas says in his trainer quotes. He's saying the widest draw in 20 will make life very difficult. He's gaslighting.
Every year, the trainers say that.
Gaslighter.
He is. I agree.
But just on another point, Ross. Like in recent years in Cheltenham and sometimes even in Ascot, and we've seen a little bit of it this week.
Yeah.
Almost the favourites are more. I'm more confident about the favourite in a big handicap than I am about them in the graded races nowadays because they're so plotted up, these horses.
Yeah.
Like, look at My Cloud today. I mean, that only had about, £20 in hand, do you reckon? I mean, they knew it as well. It went off 3-1. I mean, you see it every year at Cheltenham. You see it every year at Cheltenham. You get like an upset in the big races. You know, Bob Ollinger goes and wins the Stayers. All the odds-on favourite gets beaten the Gold Cup. Being the handicap, Willie Mullins or someone's got one in there that's £25 well in. It goes off 5-2 and it wins like. You see it in these handicaps time and time again. I think personally the markets are a better guide of the handicaps now than they are of the graded races, and as a result, I'd be more inclined to back a short-priced horse. I mean, how did that My Cloud today go off at 3-1 favourite in a 30? How many were in it? 30 odd runners.
30, yeah.
I mean, they must have been so certain it had that much in hand.
Well, the way it's won, if it had got out a furlong earlier, it'd have won by 10 lengths.
I mean, it's silly almost.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, it had, and this other thing. I think you've got that, but you've also got. My Cloud was very similar to this. My Cloud, not only he had course form, but he also got that draw next to the rail, so people aren't. There's no worry in anyone's minds. They're like, well, at least I know he's going to come down this rail, which Varian and in particular D'Souza had done loads of times. And it's similar to this. Suddenly, Merchant we think this horse has got a stone in hand. He's in 20. That's perfect. Let's pile in because you've not got any excuses, have you? So I think people are going. He was a 5-6 to 1 shot, but now we know he's not going to get stopped on the rail. We'll take down to 5-2 or whatever. I do think they'll probably drift a bit tomorrow. But anyway, but I take your point, and I'm inclined to agree. Just one more I would mention would be Grecian Legacy, who is rated 84 and definitely won't be a group horse, I don't think, in time, but got up late to win at Goodwood, all the way down the middle at Epsom, and I thought it was a big run from the back and just got chinned by Warhawk, who I think is a nice type. So he could run one at big prices. Not a fantastic draw, but not a bad draw either.
I like the Kublers as well.
Yeah.
Know the time of day.
They do. That one reminds me a bit of Go Daddy, who ran last year, in just slightly under the radar, but could be a little bit better. What else have we got? Stevens99 said, how did My Cloud scramble home at Newbury? Well, Stevens99 probably just to make sure that there was enough in the tank to win.
That race
today
was just not run to suit at all as well.
No.
Like the fact he won from there was so impressive, really.
Yeah. Okay, got to be Mafting, says Robert Blackburn, at 33 to 1. Let's move on then, shall we, to the Ribblesdale Stakes. A Group 2 here for the fillies. It's a Baby Oaks. Serenity Prayer is 3 to 1. Catalina del Carpio is 4 to 1. Garden of Eden 9 to 2. Life is Beautiful 6 to 1. Lady Vivian 10s. Caspi Star 10s. Ecstatic 12 to 1. And then 16 to 1 bar those here for the Ribblesdale, which again is probably not as good as it could well have been. Anti-post favourite, although we had about one bookie pricing it up, was Whirl. You had Giselle in there as well. I think there was also a French raider penciled in to come over to have a little bit of a crack. But I think, let's be honest, it's a weaker Ribblesdale than we were expecting to a certain extent. That said, Serenity Prayers finished second to Whirl, and that form doesn't look too bad, Mr. Wilders.
Doesn't look too bad, no. I mean, Go Boots also kind of came out and run badly though at Epsom, but you can look at it two different ways.
Yep.
It's quite interesting because this race is dominated by Aidan O'Brien and the Gosdens, and they've won 8 of the last 9 between them, and yet there's 2 horses. They've got 6 horses running, and none of them are in the top 2.
Yeah.
So does that go to show that this is quite a weak challenge that they're putting out this year?
Well, I mean, you say that, but O'Brien's last 2 winners were 12 to 1 and 13 to 2. Gosden won it in 2021 with an 18 to 1 shot. So, again, sometimes the market doesn't really know what's going on, even though they should do.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's a learning race, isn't it? Because a lot of these is obviously very lightly raced. I also like Catalina del Carpio very much. Obviously, Paddy Toomey, love the geezer. One that was a bit disappointing today, but Karma's wasn't at all. Just think she's very interesting. She debuted in a Leopardstown Maiden that has a very good roll of honour in April. Tanar was when it saved last dance above the curve, Group 1 winner. She won it easily. It wasn't run to suit. Then she ran in the Salsaville Stakes just 17 days later. I thought he's put her in a half decent race quite quickly after her debut there, and she shot the best horse behind We Might Take the Long Way.
Finished
is really
fourth
fast,
in the Oaks, I think.
Fourth in the Oaks. She made the run and dictated a very slow pace. Catalina del Carpio sat at the back, and she just given too much to do essentially.
That was beautiful, by the way. That was
fluent in Italian, mate.
Yeah.
And she's had a bit of time off now, a bit of time to mature, a bit of time to develop.
Yep.
54 days. I think she's going to take off for a truly run race over mile 4, and this is my nap of the day, Bosch.
You're not losing faith with the
I love Toomey,
Toomey
mate.
team. Yeah.
Paddy, if you're watching, let's go for a drink sometime. Not in that way. All right.
No, fair enough. Look, you've got to, he's shooting his shot. What can you say? I mean, look, to be fair, you were unlucky today. He's won 3 horses at Royal Ascot. He's had a first, a third, and the one horse you really fancied has been disappointed, dropped out the back and
penny on Karma's.
Unbelievable.
Karma.
But Robbie makes a fair point. If you've got a race where 2 yards absolutely dominate and neither of them are in the front 2 in the betting, there is an argument to be made that you could just back Garden of Eden, Life is Beautiful and ecstatic, and close your eyes and go for make a cup of tea and come back and collect Rodders.
Yeah, or you could back Go Go Boots.
Or Go Go Boots, or Understudy. Yeah.
As I've said,
or island hopping.
how many times have I said this today? But John and Fady Gosden are absolutely bombing, and Go Go Boots, I'm sure, is the wrong price. How can Go Go Boots be 16 to 1 and Serenity Prayer be 3 to 1 when Serenity Prayer was only a neck ahead of her in the Musadora, from which the winner went on and finished second in the Oaks, very nearly won it. I think that they're the 2 to concentrate on, and I will rather back Go Go Boots.
All right, Go Go Boots then. Let's have a look on the chat, see what we've got. Lady Vivian for Robert Blackburn for the 10 to 1 for the hat trick with James Doyle riding. Understudy looks well bred, says Destiny Sounds, as you would expect from that yard. Eden JS likes ecstatic here, which I can kind of see. I mean that 5th at Newbury was never in the right position. Nothing went right. The 2nd to 1 looks taking a little bit of a knock in a way today, but I can certainly see what you think about that one. And apart from that, no other obvious fancies in this 340. I mean, Life is Beautiful is going to be it's obviously a really interesting yardstick to Falakea potentially later on in the week. Again, if it wasn't trained by Ian O'Brien, I think Garden of Eden would be a shocking price. I don't know.
I don't rate her at all.
Yeah, I don't
rate any of O'Brien's 3. I get it with Go Go Boots because she was up there with that strong pace.
Yeah.
In the Musadora.
And that was fast ground, and Epsom was very different.
Exactly, and you can forgive any horse a bad run at Epsom. It's one of those awkward sort of tracks.
Yeah.
So I do get it.
Yeah.
But I'm in love with Catalina.
I thought you were going to say Paddy.
Paddy, yeah.
I'm not actually in love with Paddy now. I don't fancy her. Right?
I thought you just asked him on a date.
No, I asked him if he wanted to have like a chat or something.
Look, you can be. It's not. You don't have to be physically attracted to someone. You can be attracted to their skills and abilities.
Exactly. I'm not attracted to you fellas. I like spending time with you.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Things.
Fair enough. Well, you haven't bought us a drink.
I probably owe you one. Well, I got you that play spot earlier.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. All right. Okay. The Ribblesdale. Then you're with Catalina del Carpio.
That was even better than mine.
Yeah.
Well, you've been to Italy before, haven't you?
I have been to Italy, yeah.
Just a bit, mate.
I mean, I look more Italian than you, to be fair.
I'm not sure I agree, but carry on.
Fair enough. Rodders, what are you going with?
Go Boots.
Okay, lovely stuff. Yeah, I mean, I backed that. I backed her at a big price in the Oaks, so I am going to have to give her one more go, I guess. Because like you said, it was soft ground. She was never put in the race, really, and it seemed to hate the track, which is understandable, because Epsom is a weird old place, isn't it? Right, let's move on then. Feature race of the day, of the week, of the year for some. And it's the Prince of Wales Stakes. You're sweet there. Oh, 11-1 Ombudsman. I think that's a.
How the hell is Anmar odds on?
I don't know. Is that market? I think that market's from a furlong and a half from home. I think.
Why don't we just read out the market?
Yeah. We've got the.
I like
we've got the Ascot Gold Cup out, baby. So you
Ascot
tell
Gold
me.
Cup.
What do we got?
Well, we've got Illinois Ross at 13-8, deputising for Kyprios. We've got Trawlerman 11-4, shot Kyprios' old foe. We've got Candelari, the French raider, for Francis Henri Graffard at 100-30. Sweet Williams 9-1. Wonder Legend 33-1, 28-1 even. Coltrane, an old friend, at 40-1. Dubai Future at 40-1. And Yashin also at 40-1.
Yeah. But thank you very much, Robbie.
Oh, I mean, they look pretty different prices there, but
no, but you did a beautiful job.
Thank you. I quite enjoyed that. Yeah.
But it is in theory open stuff. I'm just going to get this out of the way now. I can't believe they sold Yashin because I could have sworn he was a keeper. Thank you. Favourite is Illinois though. Traditionally, in this race, you tend to get Rod as a horse either coming back to win it again and prove themselves the stayer of a generation. Or you get a 4-year-old who's emerged from decent company as in the classic generation, who then sort of lays down a marker to potentially be that next stayer. I think Big Orange is the only horse in the past 10 or 15 years to have won this as an older horse and not having won it before. So it's quite a big ask for the likes of Trawlerman and Sweet William, who haven't been able to do this yet, especially because they're up against two very interesting 4-year-olds in Illinois and Candelari.
Well, it's a very straightforward race, the Gold Cup, I think, nowadays, because simply put, no horses are bred to stay this far anymore. The speed has come into pedigree so much nowadays that very few horses actually stay. As a result, the staying division is pretty poor. Yes, Kyprios was a very good horse, but behind him, the rest of them are all much of a muchness. And when you get a horse like Illinois, who's been capable of finishing a close second in the St Leger to horse like Jan Bruegel, who went out and won the Coronation Cup, beating a proper horse in Candelari, and then you see him stepping up to take on, horses like Trawlerman and Candelari. I mean, they would have been lapped behind a horse like Jan Bruegel, for example. And for a change, Illinois is actually bred to stay.
Yeah.
He's by Galileo. Galileo has sired 3, I think, Gold Cup winners in the last 20 years. Galileo was by Sadler's Wells. Sadler's Wells has sired 5 Gold Cup winners. He also was the sire of Montjoie, who saddles another 2 Gold Cup winners himself. And his dam sire is Danehill, who has sired a Gold Cup winner, Westerner, and 3 other sires of Gold Cup winners. So there's stamina in the pedigree.
I was going to say, so do you think he'll stay?
He's going to absolutely improve.
Yeah.
He's going to improve.
He is. No, you're right. He is. Yeah. And I personally think that the fact that he's going anywhere near Jan Bruegel, Los Angeles, and horses of that nature, I mean, unleash him over this trip. I can't wait to see it.
He should be unbeatable. He should improve for 2.5 miles, and he's already the best horse in the race. And that should be end of. But I don't like backing horses at 13-8.
No.
But he should win. I mean, I don't see any way that he gets beat, really. I have, however, backed horse against him each way.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Please, make the case.
Who
on earth are you going to pull out here?
Surely you've got to do without the favourite if you think the favourite's a certainty, haven't you? Anyway, tell us make the case.
Wonder Legend.
Okay, fine.
That's a good horse, actually.
It's the only horse.
It better be.
It's the only horse in the race who we know that we don't know his ceiling yet. He's still lightly raced. He's been mightily impressive on the all-weather when winning that race at Newcastle last time. He's by See the Stars.
Yeah.
Who was sired 3 Gold Cup winners.
Do you think?
Yeah, they're all Stradivarius.
They're all Stradivarius. But he did also saddle. He did also sire Mojo Star, who was 2nd, and he's also the sire of Sweet William, who was 3rd last year. So Wonder Legend is definitely bred to stay the trip, and he's the potential improver in the race, along with the favourite. I don't see anything else winning. You can play this back tomorrow if something else wins, but the rest of them might not as well run. It's a 2-horse race. There's only 2 horses can win. Illinois and Wonder Legend. Forget the rest.
Yep.
If you want to tip the rest, let's just move on. Let's not even listen to it.
Well, I'll tell you what,
cover your ears, mate,
You
because
put the kettle
you're
up.
being mean to Trawlerman there.
That's true.
This is a man.
It's not, it's a horse.
This is,
It's definitely a horse.
This is a gentle horse who has given Kyprios a lot to think about back in the day.
Fair.
Illinois is not Kyprios yet, okay? Trawlerman's done 120 RPRs. You give out those RPRs, mate. You've got him top. So this Illinois stuff, just remember your roots. Because Kyprios has been beaten by Trawlerman. He ran absolute cracker last year, serving up to Kyprios in this race.
Yeah.
He's been laser target at it. He was better than ever at Sandown on his prep. I think he's going to be bang there.
And crucially, he's an Ascot horse, isn't he? He's an Ascot,
proper Ascot horse. Golden Horn, he gets some stayers, doesn't he?
Well, Trawlerman for one.
Exactly.
But the best RPR that Trawlerman's got, which is the best RPR in this race, or was until I put Illinois above him because I think he'd improved for the trip. The best RPR is 120, right, that I've given Trawlerman, and that is still £1 below your average Group 1 winning RPR.
Yeah.
So the point being...
And Illinois has done 119 as a 3-year-old and has got 3 years on Trawlerman to catch up with
to find a pound.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the key thing is,
play.
Look, Trawlerman is... But Trawlerman is the Anmart in this race, isn't he?
Sure.
He will... wherever he finishes...
He ain't going to be out the first 3.
He'll something will improve past him, and he'll go. So long, son. Enjoy the next few years.
No, I guarantee you, when I'm rating this race on Thursday afternoon, that Trawlerman will have run to 120 and finished about 2nd or 3rd, behind probably 4 or 5 lengths behind Illinois.
All right.
What about Candelari? Do you like him?
He is by Frankel, who has sired a Gold Cup winner, Courage Mon Ami, and he's also sired a 3rd in the Gold Cup. However, a lot of French races tend to be slowly run, and he's won a 1 mile, 7.5 furlong race around Leopardstown, Group 1. I think this is a massive, massive step up for him.
Yeah, I'll agree, yeah.
Okay, so I think Illinois will get the job done fairly comfortably. Do you think? Would you back Trawlerman?
I like Trawlerman, yeah, but I'm not going to back him.
All right.
The juice has kind of been extracted.
Yeah, fair enough. And on the chat, Candelari has just 5 runs. People think that there's a bit more to come from him, and there might well be. He won the race that Vazirabad won as a 6-year-old, and then ran Stradivarius quite close, so he's still got a couple of years to get involved. And Anthony McCarthy is with Trawlerman, and that's the tips amongst the moans in the chat. Thanks for getting involved, viewers. But as for what else have we got, if you're watching right now, and a lot of you are watching at home, make sure you like the stream. And we were aimed for 1,500 likes this week. We've got about 1,400 in 2 days. So don't slack off. If you get more than 2,500, Graeme Rodway will... what will Graeme Rodway do? Graeme Rodway will bungee jump live on the show.
He'll do 5 press-ups in the studio.
5 press-ups.
I'll struggle to do 5 press-ups.
Which is 3.5 more than he's ever done.
You can do sort of those press-ups on your knees.
Yeah, okay, there you go. Lovely stuff. So get involved, like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. 3 more to go on Gold Cup Day. God, I love the Britannia. What a race this is. And Rafed is 15-2 favourite for this year's renewal. Serengeti 8-1, Brave Mission 17-2, Arabian Story 10s, Lebot 10s, Consolidation 11s with Taroom and Parole Doro. Fear Not is in there as well with 5th column. Afantico, Shout, God of War, the Fingal Raven, whose form looks good, doesn't it? You've got Shameful for Clive Cox, who's bounced back to form as a yard quite recently. Arctic Grey was a good winner last time out. Hawkspill looks a very, very big prize. Mr. Chaplin, I love the ground. And yeah, you've got loads of them in here at big prices who could also run big races. But there's been quite a late move for Rafed, who was significantly bigger, at least twice as this price about 24 hours ago. William Haggis, Tom Marquand. And again, the yard just springing into life. Now, this horse caught the eye on a couple of starts and then absolutely bolted up last time out at Newbury from a subsequent winner. It's been given a mark of 92. You're basically in this race looking for a horse who will not only improve for the trip, you're basically looking for a horse with a stone in hand. You're looking for a 105 horse, aren't you? But he's running off 90 to 95. And you're looking for a horse that is going to put it all together on the day, that hasn't hit their ceiling. Yep. And Rafed does very much tick all those boxes. Yeah. He reminds me in profile a little bit of Biometric a few years ago,
jump on.
Yeah, he was sort of showing a lot of speed over and stamina over 7, and then got here and absolutely dotted up. So, but yeah, I mean, I was ready to back exactly the same silks. I thought Taroom was.
Oh, did you?
The
like
Britannia horse for weeks. He was and then suddenly I see the owner mate get smashed in.
But is that putting you off Taroom though?
No.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Absolutely.
I actually like the horse who he only just beat.
Parole Doro.
Yeah, I like that horse. Parole Doro. Well, Taroom. Parole Doro hit 1.02 in running. I think he probably just went for home a bit too soon there. I mean, Taroom completely outfought him at the end, which is obviously a worry. But it's a sort of horse, if you hold on to him, I can see him coming with a good late rattle. He's by St James's Palace winning side without Parole. Just looks like the tough horse. They've been protecting his handicap mark. I saw he's got first time tongue tie. Michael Bell 22% with those runners. I don't know if there's much in that or not.
Well,
and he's also sorry, mate.
No, I was just going to say, but just to pick on the tongue tie thing, because that we saw a few over jumps at
Cheltenham
in the Temps, for example.
Yeah.
But it was a similar thing. If you're looking for a horse, you're looking for that extra £6. You think, well, if you can run to that level and you can't breathe in the final furlong.
Yeah, so it can be a positive omen.
Yeah.
Like, it could also go the other way potentially. They might have had a hold-up or whatever. But I'm going to treat it as a positive. He's also got that crucial course form. He was quite an eye-catcher actually over 7 on his debut. Open to further improvement over additional furlong. He's got a high draw. Whether that's the place to be, who knows? Because they're actually coming off the stands rail quite a bit today, weren't they?
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought he was interesting. He's just one of there are any number of interesting horses here, but he's the one that was gravitating towards the most.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was that form line that initially made me sit up and take notice with Taroom, because the speed figure was really good for the grade at Thirsk. And I watched it back. What I liked about Taroom was that he was challenged and then he went again and he won quite cosily.
He's tough, isn't he?
He's very tough. And then at Haydock last time, look, he was off 90 and he might not have gone into this off 90, but that Silver Bowl, they normally at Haydock it's a stick to the rail and quicken, but they went really quick. And he just scythed past 5 or 6 runners in the final
quite
furlong.
Impressive.
Varian de Souza, drawn 33 down the near side rail, My Cloud Mark II.
Deja vu, potentially.
Hopefully. So I think Taroom's got an absolutely cracking. Again, he was first thought, best thought. I thought, as soon as he won that Thirsk race, and then he followed up at Haydock, and I thought he's still got more to come. And the Dam was second in the Hunt Cup as well on her only run.
It's got pedigree.
So, what did you like in the Britannia, Rodders?
There's only one winner of this race, Ross.
Well, yeah, of course there is, yeah.
Simple as that.
Unless they're dead heat.
Labot.
Okay, yeah.
What's his name? The trainer. What's his name?
Harry Eustace.
Harry Eustace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He trained the winner of the first race on Tuesday, didn't he? That was called.
Docklands.
And who won this race 2 years ago for Harry Eustace?
It was Docklands, yeah. Fair.
This horse has got the best piece of form of the race. He finished 4th last time behind Cosmic Year, who's a Group 1 horse, finished 2nd behind Field of Gold in the Irish 2,000 guineas. The 3rd was Diego Ventura, who's won, I think, a listed race since. The 6th was Symbol of Honour, who's won twice since.
He's won a listed and a Group 2 since. Yeah. And he's off 99 here.
He's running off 99, and the icing on the cake is that Jamie Spencer is booked, and there is nobody better on this straight track than Jamie. And he's drawn right up against this standside rail, just like my Cloud was today. I can only see one winner, Labot.
Well, to be fair, I had a short list, because that, again, it's one of my favourite races. So when when I see the entries, I think, okay, and a short list of 6 when it was coming to it. Taroom was top of it. Labot was definitely on there, because like I said, that form is good, isn't it? That's very good
that
indeed.
Is
that Cosmic
group
Year
form.
I mean, put it this way: if you take Field of Gold out of it, Cosmic Year would have won the Irish Guineas and probably would have run yesterday as well, wouldn't he?
And gone close, probably.
Yeah.
I think that's a group race disguised as a listed race, and Labot is running off 99. He's a group horse in a handicap, but there might be 1 or 2 others in it. But with all the factors of Spencer, the draw, everything lining up, Docklands obviously being a Group 1 horse himself, having won this race for the same trainer, the yard's in form, everything's there, Ross.
And he broke his maiden at a stiff straight 7 at Newcastle, which will help him here today.
I'm sure he had a Group 1 entry at some point as well. Just remember. I've not been able to verify that just now, but.
Well, given they ran him in the in that race at Newmarket, he might have been in the Guineas running up to that. You never know.
I don't know if.
But anyway, other horses to mention. I think we should just rattle through a few. Consolidation, I thought, came rattled home at Goodwood, beat fifth column at Kempton last year as well, which is really good form. He won the Isha Cup. He's also in this today. If I'm going to back to him, I'd also have to have a look at Afantico, who has run in 2 handicaps outside of his novice and group races. He's bolted up in one of them, and then he finished third, came from last, and went past most of the field last time out.
Afantico, I put him up in the guide actually. He's definitely on the. He's got Warren Fenterman as well. He was at that awful draw in the Silver Cup as well.
Yes, he did. Yeah, and he was. I mean, turning to the home straight, you think this horse is finishing last, and he runs on.
So
third.
we're doing a forecast with a related forecast with Tarun Afantico and.
I think we should all come be forecast and try and cast for this tomorrow.
I think we've flagged the interesting horses, haven't we?
Just one more.
Yep.
Hawksbill, second to Glittering Legend at Kempton on its penultimate start. Glittering Legend is now rated 104. Last time out, ran into Amilok, whose favourites for a race on Friday or Saturday.
King over the 7th, yeah.
He's rated 109. Hawksbill's in here off 95.
I'd just worry if you're getting outspeeded by a King Edward horse over a mile at Goodwood. It's my only concern.
Fair play. Consolidation is crying out from Alsa's Destiny Sounds. Could have done with Spencer on Poor Old Doro, says Stevens. And Eden fancies shout in this. Okay. Right, a couple of races to rattle on. Quick shout out to producer Sam's mum for making a fantastic lemon drizzle cake and back in the last winner today. And also shout out to our producers as well, who were going over to Ascot in the morning. But there you go, producing the morning show and then coming all the way back here through blazing heat and red hot traffic to produce this as well. So fair play to him. Fair play to him. 2 more races to go then on day 3. The Hampton Court Stakes is next. Trinity College 3-1, Detain 7-2, High Stock 4s, Jackknife 11-2, Tornado Alert 17-2, 11s, Bar another load of group class 3-year-olds over 10 furlongs this time out. And last year we had a good race, didn't we, in the shape of JRB. Going on to beat King's Gambit. It was a good race. We had an unlucky second in King's Gambit, albeit the way he's run since suggests maybe he wasn't that unlucky. But what's the future Group 1 horse in here, if there is one, Robbie?
Well, we've already got a Group 1 horse. Detain is a Group 1 horse, and you could argue Trinity College on that Prix de Jockey Club form. Yep. I kind of preferred Detain. I don't know. I mean, yeah, the time was really good in the Camille Pissarro race. And in the Henri Matisse race as well. He improved for that step up in trip at Chantilly. He's dropping in class. I think he's a pretty solid price at 7-2. Although there are potential improvers, but I'm not really itching to take on Detain too much. I think he's a better horse than Trinity College, to be honest.
Okay, yeah. I mean, he's proven it not only once but twice in Group 1 companies. He's 6th and 3rd. He's already proven that he's a very high class individual.
Very much so. I mean, the problem is a lot of these one or two of these could be Group 1 horses. We just don't know, but we know Detain is.
Yeah.
So that's why I was going to stick with the solid option and see how that goes for me.
All right, fair enough. And he should be in theory all right under the conditions. Rod, is anything in this?
I fancy Tornado Alert.
Okay.
At the start of the week, I had a quick look up to see how many rides James MacDonald had for Saeed bin Surur. He's had 12 rides and never had a winner for him. But 6 of them finished second. 6 seconds from 12 rides for James MacDonald and Saeed bin Surur. How unlucky is that? But the one thing that clicked in my mind there was, I bet they have a winner this week together. And this is going to be the one. The romance is going to finally blossom.
Between Robbie and Paddy Toomey. No, sorry.
That's blossom right in, mate.
Between James MacDonald and Saeed bin Surur.
James MacDonald's going to get it right on Tornado Alert. Finished 6th in the Derby last time. Didn't stay. 2017, Saeed bin Surur ran a horse called Ben Battle, who from memory didn't stay in the Derby and ran in this race and won this and then went on to win multiple Group 1s, I think, in Dubai and all over the world. Yeah. Tornado Alert, a very similar type.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I like it quite a lot, actually. Yeah, fair play. I mean, you're right. I mean, you're talking about you're looking for horses. It's quite a good renewal of this, actually, in theory, this year. But I'm the most interesting thing is definitely to get that Derby form properly tested, isn't it? And Tornado Alert is the first proper test of that.
Absolutely,
so,
yeah. He ran really well in the 1,000 and the 2,000 guineas as well. He's an interesting horse. He was my second choice, to be fair. So fair play.
Well, again, I mean, you've seen them. We keep talking about Field of Gold as well. So And yeah, be interested to see how that form gets tested. You're right. The more I went down this race, the less I fancied. I mean, I was rated 62 in this. James Owen running Star Drop back for some reason. The only other one, you fancied a Legend earlier on. I thought Glittering Legend was a little bit interesting.
Yeah, James Ferguson improving, isn't it? And he's had a few horses like running these sorts of races, hasn't he? Deauville Legend won one, didn't it, around Royal Ascot, James Ferguson?
Yeah, but this one's James Fanshawe.
Oh, is it James Fanshawe?
Yeah,
it's easy to get modelled up because they both train for that owner.
Both train for the same owner, and
Wonder
they're both
Legend is
James.
James
And they're all
Ferguson.
called Legend, those horses.
They're both
as well.
James, and they both begin with F. You know.
All their horses are called Legend.
You sure they're not
Yeah.
the same person?
They actually might be.
Never seen
Let's
them in the
clear
same
that
room.
up.
James Fanshawe takes his glasses off. It's like Superman and Clark Kent. Okay, that's the Hampton Court Stakes. Anyone else on the chat? Arabian Force, but someone just said it. So Mike Boy. That was Zach who also said it. Those two going for that one. JP Murta's tilt with Rayenzi may well come off, says Destiny Sounds. And Robert Blackburn, he's gone Glittering Legend, double with Wonder Legend. What a legend you would be if you pulled off that double. Last race of the day then on Gold Cup Day is the Buckingham Palace Stakes, and English Oak is back to do it again, potentially. 5-1. Roi de France is 6-1. Gleneagle Bay 7s, Never So Brave 7s, Ramazan 11s, Oliver Show 11s, Acadian Thunder 14s, 50, Nifty 14-1, and bigger prices the rest. Now, the problem with English Oak, of course, is that last year, Robbie, he was the sexy, unexposed 4-year-old who was well handicapped, well drawn, and was going to show those older horses something on the day. Unfortunately, he's now the older horse up against the sexy 4-year-olds.
Very much so, but these kind of horses, it just doesn't surprise you if they bounce back. It kind of reminds me of, at Aintree, who's that Tom Lacey horse that won on the Saturday at Aintree that just showed no form for a whole year?
Oh, yeah.
What's the name of that?
The Chaser.
Yeah.
I
Anyway,
know what you mean.
Anyway,
But you think every year
he's
we'll just go back and win that race next year? Is that what you think?
I think they're obsessed with Buckingham Palace.
Yeah.
That's the race they really want to win. And I could just see it panning out similarly. Like last year, I forget who set the pace. They had a fierce set of ridiculous pace down there.
Well, it was the owner, mate. It was Mate.
Yeah, this is what I think. I think Linus going to strike twice. I think Hull Green is in 32. He's going to rattle down, set it up for him, and obviously your boy English Oak is going to be thereabouts in 27, but he's going to be susceptible to the late rattle of Arcadian Thunder in 29.
Okay.
This horse got stacks of Ascot form. 41 really nicely at Doncaster last time. And he was, I remember, what was the race last year? The one behind Gray's Monument. He's a ridiculous eye catcher in that over the course and distance. He's got Billy Lee up a rider I rate. Also rides with Paddy Toomey a lot, doesn't he, Billy Lee? And I think the action's going to pan out. I mean, I might be completely wrong here. I know Mr. Siegel doesn't like to look too much into draws. I could see the action panning out there. And if they stay to standside this time, Arcadian Thunder's going to love it and come rattling home.
I'm hoping you're right, but it's a different horse.
Okay, what one?
I'm hoping it's Never So Brave.
Yeah, he was my initial feeling as well.
We're talking about, you're talking about coincidental doubles and whatnot, but Never So Brave and More Thunder for the Wokingham looks a right old double. But I watched back his run in the Jersey last year, and he'd won a Chester handicap of 94. He finished 6th in the Jersey. He hit the front on the bridle of Furlong from Home, and he keeps going and going and going. And he ran an absolute blinder. Again, it's Group 3 company. It's won by Hartem. You had you just had proper listed Group 3, Group 2 horses in there. He should have won by half the track at Chester last time out.
Yeah, he should have done. Yeah.
And again, he's drawn 28. He switched Andrew Baldwin, Ossian Murphy. The Sir Michael Stout switchers have done really well. Drawn in 28, course form, should have won last time out. Big run in last year's Royal Ascot Classic. We say that every festival, best place to start is last year's festival form. I think he's going to win a big race.
I was thinking exactly the same, but then I thought, why don't I go for one slightly bigger? But that is often to your detriment, isn't it?
Yeah.
So he's going to have to be involved in any place book. Oh, it's not even in the place, but it's a lot.
No, but back them both.
Why not?
Why not? Rodders, what you got for the last?
I like Arcadian Thunder, so I like the shout for many of the same reasons. They've also got loads of Ascot form and put in a great effort last time out at Donny, I thought. Must just quickly mention Roi de France,
Yep.
who's got loads of all-weather form and will surely run well with the Gosdens flying, and Ryan Moore booked for John Gosden. You don't see that very often.
No. And he was sold the other day, wasn't he? For how much? How much did he go for? He was at the Goff sale the other night. He went for
2 million?
380,000, a snip.
Cheap.
Actually, not a snip. He's a colt. So they still he hasn't had the snip. But yeah, he's again. He's a. I mean, I really fancied him last time out at Ascot. He was he was almost a play spot banker. I thought he's going to run an absolute blinder. He didn't quite pick up in the fashion I expected him to. But like you said, the Ard are in much better form now.
The worry would be some of those horses that were beaten in that Victoria Cup today were well held in the Royal Hunt Cup, weren't they? Popmaster and Kierat's and all the horses that finished around him in the Victoria Cup were well held today, weren't they, in that Royal Hunt Cup? That's
that is
my
true.
slight worry, but yeah, he's definitely going to be an Ascot horse. I think got loads of all weather form, and yeah, Gosden's flying.
Yeah, he really is. Okay, final selections. Oh yeah, actually, you're right, Robert. Before we move on, quick shout out, a bigger price for A Purist as well. He was the other one I thought was really interesting. He ran at Newcastle on all-weather finals day, drawn 3, 15. You remember they were all down. It was all this near side rail. Rail. He was on the bridle all the way down the middle of the track, and he rattled home and finished third. It was a massive, massive run. He's been entered about 3 times. I thought he might run in the Lincoln, but he's running here. So. Yeah, and Robert Blackburn fancies him as well, along with Mayal and No Retreat. Okay, good. Right, the naps coming up after this. Okay, Gold Cup day, then best bets from the panel ahead of a red hot day of racing. Starting off, we'll go over here to Mr. Graeme Rodway.
5 o'clock, La Botte.
Yeah, okay.
Really fancy it, Ross.
We're all going to nap in the same race, possibly. No, you're going to go for something else.
I'm only napping one thing, mate. Catalina del Carpio. In the Ribblesdale at 3:40.
Lovely stuff.
Maybe it's 4:20. No, it's 3:40.
Oh, mio Dio. Okay, there you go. Sam's asked for Rodway's nap again, for some reason.
La Botte.
La Botte.
Okay. Do you want Robbie's nap again as well, or just that one? All right, okay. See, I wanted to nap to room.
Don't bother, La Botte.
Don't bother.
Don't bother, just back La Botte.
You can have Never So Brave. I'll allow it.
I'll have a to room Never So Brave each way double. How's that?
That's not too bad, I'd say.
Yeah, you take that?
You're onto something there.
La Botte, 5 o'clock. Back it.
Something quite sinister, that.
Yeah. This is a man who is. I mean, look at him. He's confident. He's confident, or he's very tired of writing 10,000 words of copy.
Yeah, we're all knackered this week. Cruise Control is that horse I was thinking of earlier.
Cruise
as well.
Control,
Yeah.
which is exactly the setting this show is on. Good night.